We're in 2025, guys. I always say this. If you are struggling to even focus on one strategy, this is something that I also applied when I was building my edge, I think 2 or 3 years backward. So this video isn't necessarily for a beginner. Hello guys, hope you're doing well. Today I want to share with you 3 things which will almost guarantee you profitability as a trader in the markets. Now, I'm not the type of person who likes to use words like guarantee because I know anything can happen. But I think if you have these 3 things as a trader, it's almost inevitable that at some point you'll become profitable. So this video isn't necessarily for a beginner. If you're very green to trading, you don't even understand the basics, etc., this video is not targeting you. This video is specifically for a trader who's been in the markets for a while. You have a solid understanding about trading, price action, you can read and interpret the markets, and you're probably just struggling with strategies. You're trying to work out your strategies and find your edge in the market. So here are the 3 things you need which will almost guarantee you profitability regardless of how long you struggle in your trading. The first thing is risk to reward ratio. Now, risk to reward is that thing which, even if your system loses most of the time, as long as you're getting big winners compared to your losers, there's a very high chance eventually you'll be net positive in the markets. Part of building your strategy, I always say you need to try as much as possible and optimize to get the best risk to reward. For example, you could be doing a 1:2 right now, but maybe your system has the potential of doing a 1:3 or even a 1:4. You want to make sure you are going with the most optimal RR for your system, because if your system can do a 1:4 and you're taking anything less than that, then long term you are limiting the potential of the returns you can make. If you are struggling trader, or if you're someone who's trying to find that edge in the market, one thing you want to take time on when backtesting, when looking at your journal and just trying to study your markets, is how can you capitalize in a way that your losers remain small and your winners become 2, 3, 4 times. I've always said I recommend a minimum of a 1:3, especially if you're struggling to get that edge. Even a 1:1 or a 1:2 for some systems can work. It's not impossible, but I'm just saying if you're still struggling to find an edge, rather than thinking you'll find a system which wins many times and has a high win rate, just try to have at least a minimum of a 1:3. With that, I think with a 30% win rate, you still will be net positive. When it comes to risk to reward, we're not just looking about the potential of the money you can make. We're also looking at it from a risk perspective. Like I've always said, one of the things which will help you to recover from big drawdowns is having a nice risk to reward ratio. If you have a 1:1 or a 1:2, chances are coming out of drawdown is harder for you as compared to someone who has a 1:3 or a 1:4 plus. Also, you don't want to exaggerate and try to be over-ambitious. Don't go to the market trying to force a 1:10, 1:6 if your system can't give you that. Try to test your systems, understand the kind of setups you are taking, and go for the most optimal risk to reward. It will easily help you to get your P&L moving upwards. At the same time, it will help you to come out of those drawdowns. Before we continue, let me share with you about prop firm match. This is the one place where you get all the information about the prop firms out there. Some of the top companies, the features that they offer, the available discounts, any detail you'd want to know in terms of the years of operation, even the amount of payouts that some of these firms have done. So Prop Firm Match has introduced a new payout feature here. You can track payouts from different companies. More companies are still coming on board, but so far, some of the top companies like Funding Pips are here. You can track the payouts that they have done for the last 30 days. You can filter to check the last 7-day payout, for example. You can also come under the Prop Firm rules, and here you can compare rules of all your top prop firms at one place. So you do have Funding Pips here, the 3% rule, copy trading rule. Scroll further, you find the 5%ers. All the key rules that you might want to know about a company in terms of the consistency rule, the type of challenges, they're all highlighted at one place. So you can scroll through here and compare all your favorite prop firms at once, read through all their rules, and once you make a decision and find a firm that you think suits you, you can click on it further to just check more details. For example, you might want to see the reviews of that company. What are traders who use this company saying? Keep in mind, Prop Firm Match offers real-time reviews from traders who've done payouts using these companies. And assuming you also want to get the best firms on offers, come here under the offers. You'll get all the available offers in the industry, from as low as 5% to some companies having discounts as high as 50, 35, 30%. So you simply come here and copy paste the discount code, which will allow you to purchase this prop firm at a lower price. My last favorite feature is the filters. You can filter to find the firm that you want. For example, I want a platform that is allowed to trade in my country, Kenya. I'll filter that. I want a platform that allows me to trade the forex pairs, and the platform that I use is MT5. Lastly, I do want a two-step challenge. So after clicking that, you will get a filter of all the available farms in your region with the platform that you want. Then you can compare and purchase your challenge from Propfarm Match website. So feel free to check out the Propfarm Match links in the video description. Otherwise, let's get back into the video. The second thing you want to do and apply is stick to one strategy, or as I always say, stick to one model or one approach, and most importantly, make it as mechanical as possible. So that's the second point, but I've kind of given 2 points in one, but I think they're very, very correlated. So sticking to one strategy just means you want to focus on one trading model only. If you choose, you'll be trading this type of concept, whatever it is that you feel you understand more and easily in the market. After, of course, you've already juggled around the price action, you understand all those things. Eventually, it's important for you to now narrow down and tell myself, this is what I'll be studying more in the markets because this is what I understand more. This is what I think it's easy for me to spot in the market over and over. So try to focus on only one approach. And we're in 2025, guys. I always say this. If you are struggling to even focus on one strategy, this is a very practical thing you can do right now after this video. I want you to go and look for a couple of traders who have a proven track record. It doesn't have to be myself. And by the way, this is something that I also applied when I was building my edge, I think 2 or 3 years backwards. Back then, it was way tough because I don't think the social media exposure was as good as it is right now. But this is how you focus on one approach if you are confused. Find traders who have a proven track record. Find at least, I will say, 3 to 4 of them. Try to watch their channels over and over. And most importantly, with time, you'll start to realize you're relating to one person more than the other. And then eventually, that is the person you will focus on. So if this person is an ICT trader, an SMC trader, pure price action trader, order flow, whatever you found to be relating with more and is making more sense to you, you can be able to learn it with ease. You can spot those things in the market comfortably. Focus and narrow down on only that approach. Study that approach, backtest that approach, try to forward test, record your trades as you constantly improve them. So to make this practical, I'm going to share with you how you can find traders with a proven track record. And this is not any marketing. I'm just telling you what I'd do if I was in your position. So right here, I'm on my computer. There's this channel, by Words of Wisdom called Chart Fanatics, and he only brings traders who have a proven track record. You can see myself, I've watched a couple of these shows here. So if you're trying to start today and you're asking, Rick, how do I find a trader with a proven track record? Because if you just go on social media and you look for people who post screenshots alone, it may be confusing. This is just one example. This is one channel which brings traders with only a proven track record. Most of them are 6-figure traders on the minimum. Some of them are 8 and 9-figure traders. And as Riz says, he must verify them before they come into this show. So watch a couple of these guys and then try to see, will you find any that you relate a lot? And again, this was not any marketing. I was just giving you my own opinion. And you could find them anywhere. If you also have another way of finding traders with a proven track record, whether it's on X, whatever platform it is, have 2 or 3 of them, follow them, watch their concepts, learn how they trade. Within 2 or 3 months, it will be very easy for you to narrow down to only one of them. And now for the remaining time, you'll only be focusing to learning that thing, studying it in the market, doing that practice. And slowly by slowly, you will have eliminated a lot of noise which is out there. Because if you are still trying to learn new strategies every day, if you're still getting confused because you see one trader is profitable with ICT, another one with a different concept, and you don't know what to do, the truth is any concept can work. That's why I'm telling you, just find the one that you think you relate with the most, then save yourself some time and focus on that one. Even right now, the strategy that I trade might not be the most profitable. There might be traders out there who have other systems better than mine. And even as I watch such traders online who are doing better than me, I don't watch them with the idea of trying to change my strategy every day. Because for me, I've already found what works for me. And that should be the end goal for you as a trader as well. Block the noise, focus on one trading model. The second part is I told you want to make this system as mechanical as possible. The reason why I say that is because mechanical systems have a way to make you disciplined in the market and help you to eliminate confusion. So to make sure I get out this point as accurately as possible, I'm going to show you the definition of Google of a mechanical trading approach. So here's the definition. A mechanical trading approach is a rule-based system for making trading decisions without emotional or subjective judgment, which is a very important part. It relies on a predetermined set of criteria, which can be simple or complex, to help you generate trade signals, manage risk, execute trades, etc. So there's something I want you to understand. With a mechanical system, number one, there's a rule-based criteria. That means after testing your market, you develop a playbook which is systematic and tells you exactly what to do when you enter in the markets. Here's a very important point here. It allows you to make trading decisions without emotional or subjective judgment. Now, emotional and subjective judgment is where you'll find someone seeing a trend, then they start to ask you, What do you think? Should I take it? Should I not take it? That is you trying to be either emotional or subjective. You see, if you ask me whether I should take the trade or not, the answer is not with what I think. The answer is exactly with what the playbook says. That's the whole idea of having a mechanical model. It's a system which is very well defined. It can be repeated over and over. That means if you're looking for setups at specific times, you're looking for specific market behavior, market structures, market patterns, market conditions, it's the same things you're looking for consistently. So every day you go into the market, you're not wondering whether this is a setup or not. You understand? You've already defined exactly what you're looking for. Most importantly, of course, you must have tested it. Building a mechanical system was one of the things which actually led me to my consistency in trading. It becomes easier when you go to the market with a very clear idea of what you must see before you take a trade. And as long as you don't see those things, there is no other question of whether we can trade or not. It's a very straightforward answer. Also, it becomes easier for you to spot your setups over and over. But if you have an approach which every day it's very subjective, it changes, and you're still struggling with profitability, that might not really make it any easier. If you want to have a subjective approach, maybe you can start using that in future once you're very profitable, you've built more than 1 or 2 strategies. But if you're still struggling to find consistency in the market, a rule-based system which is very mechanical will definitely increase the chances of you becoming profitable sooner. The third and final thing you want to do, which will almost guarantee your process of pushing towards profitability, is refining your losses. Now, let me explain what this means. Many traders go into the market, journaling and backtesting, and they focus so much to try to increase their win rate or try to focus on how they'll win more. But how about you understand this, that if you can also reduce your losses, then by default, you'll be increasing your win rate in the market. So this third point focuses majorly on losing setups. When you're backtesting your system, when you are journaling your trades, I want you to take a lot of time to go back and just study your losses only. When you study these losses, most of the time try to find if there is any consistency. For example, based on my system, I could easily have been finding so many trades even on a weekly basis. But one of the reasons why I take very few setups is because as time was going by, through backtesting and journaling, I started to spot that there are a few things in my setups which are proving to consistently make that type of trade more likely to lose than to win. And I think I've shared this with you a number of times. For example, I don't trade on Fridays. It's something I noticed a consistency in. I don't trade past certain hours of the day. So for you, it could be anything. These consistencies could probably be the timing of your trade. Maybe if you trade using sessions, for example, you might notice trades in a certain session are more likely to lose than others. If you find any consistency in those losses, go backtest for a number of years. If you can prove that is a negative to your system, then you want to eliminate such types of trades. Just like that, you will have reduced the number of potential losses you can take with that system. Apart from the timings and the sessions, something else could be probably a confluence in terms of maybe the structure of the market, the price action, maybe some patterns. Maybe if you see a certain pattern in the market and it doesn't complete 1 or 2 confluences, most of the time you notice it ends up losing. So try to take a lot of time to study your losses and refine them as much as possible until you get to a point where you are content that if I'm taking this loss, there's nothing wrong I did with it. But for many traders, if they just get serious and they study their losses, you will easily start to notice for the last 2-3 years, there are a lot of consistencies in some of the trades you are taking as losses, which easily you could have eliminated them. So one way for you to increase the chances of winning in the market isn't about looking for more profitable trades every time, but sometimes it's about reducing the current losing trades. And at that point, you'll understand the quote which says in trading, less is more, because the more you eliminate those types of losing trades, you'll remain with very few but quality setups. And that's the goal of trading at the end of the day. You don't want to be in the markets very busy on a weekly basis just for you to finish with a 1 hour or a 2 hour at the end of the month. While there's another trader who's averaging 3-4 hours more than what you are doing, and he or she only takes 1 or 2 trades a week. So I'm not saying that the goal is for you to just change your system all of a sudden, but I'm telling you, try to make sure you've optimized it as much as possible, such that every trade you are taking is the best possible trade. If it loses, you know this was the best possible analysis I could have done for this setup based on my strategy. You don't want to just be losing anyhow on trades which could have easily been avoided had you just done proper study of your data. So that's it for this video. Basically, I just wanted to share with you those 3 things which I think will assist you to push your way into profitability. As long as you are applying them, I don't see how. As long as you're applying them, and of course you already have trading basics, trading knowledge, it's just a matter of time before you start to see that consistency in the market. So I hope you learned something. Until next time, guys, peace.